All right, everybody. I think I got that braying of the ass and the watchdog thing right. So Pablo's sleeping, and he's not gonna wake up until like the troops are conquering and the asses start braying and the watchdogs start barking or panicking and the plow animals are panicking. So by the time he wakes up, it's over. Shit. But yeah, no, it's pretty funny. Keret versus Pablo, right? Right. I mean, like think about that. Like that's kind of funny to us, right? Keret versus Pablo, right? um, like think about this, right? First of all, you have to say that after we die, there could just be the void. There might be nothing. No soul, no heavens, no gods, no God. There might just be the blackness and the void. um, but let's say there is an after, whatever. Um, if there is, let's say you're watching the now as a being from beyond the veil, right? If you're a being beyond the veil, then it is assumed by the most esteemed philosophers that there is no time on the other side of the veil. So, in other words, when you watch something in the now, you know the past and the future. So, you're seeing this in a context. And right now, as we're looking back at this, we're seeing this within our own context, right? Keret versus Pablo. Like to me, that's just funny, right? Keret versus Pablo, right? Now his name, we don't know his name. His name is KRT. The Phoenicians were very efficient, being merchant aristocrats. So what they did was they took out the vowels. And when you're writing this and reading it, you know what vowels to insert, right? But we don't know what vowels to insert, right? But it was just a more efficient use of clay, right? um, so I mean, it could be Kirta, it could be Keret, it could be Kareta, it could be anything, right? KRT, that's all we know. But some people say Keret, some people say other things. But Keret versus Pablo, that's funny, right? And so if you're on the other side of the veil and you're seeing this Canaanite thing in without time, then you actually at that time you see the future joke that I find funny. Maybe you don't, but Keret versus Pablo, right? Um, they see that, right? I was listening to the Oldest Stories podcast this morning, and he was talking about this Babylonian king whose name was Shitty Marduk, right? And so, and I mean, if you're watching the now through the lens of the past and the future, it's not just funny. It can also be dramatic and sad when the time of the now doesn't see it as that. But anyways, um, but yeah, no, that's just an interesting little thought. I thought. But let's go on. We have 17 minutes left.
And yellow glittering gold, and perpetual slaves, a groom, horses, chariots from the stable. The son of a handmaid, a possession that is not in my house, shalt thou give. Give me Lady Horia, the fairest of the offspring of thy firstborn, whose fairness is like the fairness of Anat, whose beauty is like the beauty of Ashtar, whose eyeballs are the pureness of lapis, whose pupils the gleam of garnet, whom in my dream El bestowed, in my vision the father of man, and let her bear offspring to Keret, and a lad to the servant of El. The merchants, messengers, twain depart. They do not return. Behold their faces, they set towards King Pabel. They raise their voice and cry, message of Keret the noble, word of Naaman the lad. The
So obviously, to anybody out there, I think this is more broken text. So, and I think all of that was pretty clear if you were listening to my other stuff.
hungry she took by the hand, the thirsty she took by the hand. They will follow her lamenting unto Keret, to the camp, as the cow moans for her calf, the for their daughters. Even so shall Udum wail. And Keret the noble replied, Puissant Baal, Prince Yarif, Kothar Wahasis, Rahmiya, Prince Rashak, the companies of the gods threefold. Straightway, Keret the noble in his house doth set. Going in, he doth put in it, and going out he doth put. Then come the companies of the gods. Then spoke puissant Baal, so come, O kindly one, El benignant, mayst thou bless Keret the noble, mayst thou beatify Naaman, the lad of El. A cup El takes in his hand, a flagon in his right hand. Indeed, he blesses his servant. El blesses Keret, beatifies Naaman, the lad of El. The woman that thou takest, O Keret, the woman that thou takest into thy house, the maid thou bringest into thy court shall bear 7 sons unto thee, yea, 8 shall she produce.
Okay. So I mean, here again we have women as objects and men as value, right? It's kind of like some of the I don't know about the Asians, but the Asian Americans, they if they have a child, they want a son. Like that's disgusting. That is very disgusting. Um, and it's stupid too. Like scientifically speaking, it is extremely stupid, right? Because like if you're a man, you might have 2 children, a boy and a girl, right? And your girl might actually have more of your DNA than your boy. Your boy might have more of your wife's DNA, right? Now your boy still is going to have your DNA in sleep or whatever, and he can still pass on your DNA to his kids. Or a child could be anything in between, right? They could be a real mix. A child should be a surprise. Because ultimately you want them to be free. And if you want them to be free, then they're going to choose what they want to be. Right? And what they want to be, oh, another surprise, But if you try to choose for them, then you're assholes. Okay? But like this, look at this. Look at this. This is the same type of shit. Right? They only care about having sons. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, this woman might bear daughters too, but who cares about them, right?
She shall bear Yasib, the lad, one that shall suck the milk of Asirat, one that shall milk the breasts of the virgin Anat, the 2 wet nurses of the gods. Be greatly exalted, Keret, in the midst of the community of
Like, can we say privilege? Huh?
land, in the number of the population of the realm. Also, she shall conceive and bear daughters to thee. She shall bear the maiden Ta'at. She shall bear the maiden. 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 Be great.
Okay, so obviously these maidens' names are lost to us. So I think that's what's going on.
Exalted Keret, in the midst of the community of the land, in the number of the population of the realm. To the youngest of them I will give the birthright. The gods bless and proceed. The gods proceed to their tent, the family of El to their habitations. And she conceives and bears sons to him, and conceives and bears daughters to him. Lo, in 7 years, the sons of Keret were even and had been stipulated in the vows. The daughters also of Horiah were even so. And Ansirat remembers his vows, even Elad his dedications, and lift up her voice and cries, Look now, doth Keret then break? Or does the king alter vows? So I shall break his feet upon the footstool he sets. Aloud unto his wife he doth.
Okay, you know what? This is funny. There's obviously like a lot that's lost here, but something dramatic is going on, right? And yeah, they do eventually mention the daughters, but all that we know about them is they just say their names, right? And like Carrot himself, like what qualities does he have other than his birth, right? And these daughters are the same. You know, they have high birth. They have nothing else. Sorry to break it to you. But yeah, no, it seems like a lot is being lost right now, and it's like dramatic, whatever.
I hearken, O Lady Horea, prepare the fattest of thy fatted beasts. Open a jar of wine, summon my 70 peers, my 80 barons, the peers of Habar, the great Habar, the grand. Lady Horea obeys. She prepares the fattest of her fatted beasts. She opens a jar of wine, and to her presence.
So the people invited to the party are the other aristocrats, right? So there's this party that's going to happen with his peers, 70 of them, 80 barons, right? So this is the government of I forgot where this city was. Yeah, no, I forgot what city it was. Anyways, so this is an opulent feast that the nobles have.
She causes her peers to enter. Into her presence she causes his barons to enter. The peers of Chabar the Great, Chabar the Grand, into the house of Keret they come, into the dwelling and into the pavilion they advance. Hand to the bowl she stretches forth, a knife to the flesh she applies, and Lady Horea declared, To eat, to drink I have summoned you. Your Lord Keret hath a sacrifice. She prepares the fattest of her fatted beasts. She opens a jar of wine. Flagon?
Okay,
Chaber.
you know what? No, let me pause real quick. I mean, this is why this stuff, like, other than it being related to the Torah, I mean, it really doesn't interest me. Um, I mean, it's like she's preparing the fattest of the fatted, right? I mean, the beast, she opens a jar of wine, right? Um, I mean, there's no real meaning here, right? And when you're doing stories, you don't constantly have to have meaning and stuff. But he's just basically describing this opulent feast that is about to happen, right? Um, I mean, this is total aristocracy type shit right here. Um, but there's not much meaning. Like in the Sumerian stories, there was just so much. There was like double and triple meaning in all that shit. And you don't have to always have that, you know. You can have just a silly story or something. But man, this is just I don't know. It's like who cares? She's preparing the okay. This is gonna be an opulent feast for a bunch of assholes. Like who cares?
To the seat, and into the pavilion they advance. Hand to the bowl she stretches forth, knife to the flesh she applies, and Lady Horia declares, to eat, to drink I have summoned you. For Keret, they weep, even as the
Okay, one quick aside. They come to this feast, and she's sacrificing an animal, right? So there's this idea of a feast and a sacrifice, right? And we see this in the Torah as well. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? My thoughts on the Torah is that a feast, a feast is where people get together and hang out outside of work and shit, right? This is a bonding moment. And since it's a bonding moment, it's a sacred moment. And that's what that's what I think what we see in the Torah. But that's probably not what we see here, but there are some similarities, right?
fake. They weep as one weeps for the dead, and in their heart they finger. At the setting of the sun, Keret will come. At sundown, our Lord, and he will reign on high. Keret the noble, on high, thy wife over thy wife. He will bring forth Chabar the great, Chabar the grand, El benignant in friendship, full. Hearken! That they might eat and drink. And Lady Horia declared, to eat, to drink I have summoned you. Your sire Keret have a sacrifice. Into Keret's presence ye shall enter. Like the speech of the peers is their speech. In a vision, Keret. Like a dog, thine aspect is changed. Like a hound, thy joyous countenance. Wilt thy die then, father, like the mortals, or thy joy change to mourning, to a woman's dirge? O father, my...
Okay, so what is this? This is like is this a dream? Yeah, in a vision. So I guess Carrot's having a vision, and there's something like a dog in this vision. And in this vision, fine aspect is changed like a hound. Thy joyous countenance will thy doubt die. So yeah, what's happening in this vision? It's interesting.
For thee, father, weeps the mount of Baal Zapan, the sacred circuit. The mighty circuit laments, the circuit broad of span. Is then Keret, a son of El, an offspring of the kindly one and the holiness, into the presence of his father he enters, weeping bitterly, giving forth his voice in weeping. In thy life, our father, we rejoice, exult in thy not dying. Like a dog, thine aspect is changed. Like a hound, thy joyous countenance. Wilt thou die then, father, like the mortals? With thy joy chained to mourning, to a woman's dirge, O father, my song? How can it be said a son of El is Keret, an offspring of the kindly one and the holiness? Or do gods die? The offspring of the Holy One shall surely live. And Keret the noble answers, my son, weep not for me. Do not wail for me. Waste not thine eye with flowing, the brain of thy head with tears. Call thy sister Thitmanet, a maid whose passion is strong. Let her weep and wail for me. O hero, tell not unto thy sister, tell thy sister I know is compassionate. Let not her waters be dried up with grief, her breath with sorrow. Wait for the setting of the lady's sun, and the shining of the light of the myriads. Then say unto thy sister Thitmanet, our Keret is making a sacrifice. The king is preparing a banquet. Take thy drum in thy hand, thy tambourine in thy right hand. Go, take thy stand by the songstresses of thy sire. Present thy petitions with thy music, and he will consent to all. Straightway the hero, El-Ha'u, his lance in his hand doth take, his spear in his right hand, and sets out on a run. Even as he arrives, it grows dark. His sister has kindled a lamp. His lantern.
Okay, there was some stuff broken up there, I think, and so there was a lot lost. And I think by the time we get back, we're now in the future, and Keret is older, and he has his children from this woman that he conquered as his possession, and so this is his son right now. This is Keret's son. This is what he wanted, right? Now, of course, he has other sons, right? They're just not legitimate, right? So he doesn't care about them. Um, I mean, there's this definite obsession with immortality, right? Um, and again, we can also see this in the Torah with the promise to Abraham, right? So again, there's this similarities here, but obviously differences because Moses heavily disagreed with these guys. Obviously, because in Moses, the constant story in Moses, in Genesis, and in all of the Torah, the constant story is blood family fighting against each other. Like your greatest enemies will be within your own blood family. And Moses was constantly trying to teach the Jews to purify their household, right? This is one of the constant lessons in Genesis and the Torah. Purify your household, right? But that's not what we see here. What we see here is this in the Canaanite society is this obsession with blood family, right? Because again, Moses' God is a God of the heart. He's a God of love and bravery and wisdom. And if you do not have heart and you're a society of murder and genocide and bad laws, then wipe that society out, right? People bear false witness against the God of the Torah a lot when they call him mean. It's like he's not mean. These guys are mean. Wipe them out, right? But don't wipe them out, right? Because as we learn in the Tower of Babel, not not one tribe is supposed to rule them all, right? If you believe in a creator God, then look around the world. There's variety. There's variety of trees, variety of dogs, variety of cats, etc., etc. There's variety everywhere. And so, who are you to say that your tribe should rule the world? Like, that's disgusting. That's against the creator. Um, what am I talking about right now? Shit, I lost my track of thought. Mm. Okay, the creator God. Um, oh yeah, family, blood family. So, I mean, again, the first law is all about loving God with your heart, right? God is a God of the heart. God is a searcher of hearts, right? And so there's going to be some people in your family who are narcissistic, jealous, hateful, prideful, right? And what is Moses' response to people who embrace the worst parts of themselves? Hey, you get over there and we'll stay over here. It's about the purification of your home, the purification of your tribe. right? You guys get over there and we'll stay over here, right? We also see this in Sumerian literature, right? Where Erishkigal is a daughter and a sister to all these other gods, but like they don't want anything to do with her, like because she's like a bitch. So, uh, like that's what hell is, and that's why Erishkigal is, because she's toxic, she's narcissistic, she's prideful, um, and so it's very similar with the Sumerian stuff. It's like you guys get over there, we'll stay over here. It's about purifying your home. But we don't see that here, right? We don't see that. It's all about the blood family. And you hear that nowadays. Like that's why I've said before, like you go to Mexico, right? The Mexicans call themselves Catholic. They follow Jesus, right? But Jesus is supposedly follows the Torah, right? But the Torah obviously teaches us that, it's only about the family of the heart that matters. It's only about the family of the heart that matters. That's what the Torah, that's what Moses teaches, you know? And Moses, it's about good eyesight, like the book of everything, Enoch would say. Um, it's about eyesight, right? So when you realize the true nature of evil, you pity the fool, right? And you don't have this you don't have this toxic negativity within you that just eats away at you because other people were mean to you, right? Well, they were mean to you because they're pathetic, right? And if you keep crying about it, you're pathetic too. But um, yeah, it's totally about the true family is a family of the heart, and we do not see that in this text, right? So, and I'm talking about all this because Keret's sons and daughters are now in the text, and we're now seeing them, and we're about to see them in action. Um, and I think they're about to get mad at each other eventually, but we'll see. But anyways, that's why this is totally interesting to me because this is totally opposite of Moses, right? It's totally opposite of Moses. Yeah, Joseph had technically 11 blood brothers, but maybe uh, when they all pass beyond the veil, maybe only 10 of them are going to pass to Yahweh. Maybe one or two of them Yahweh is not going to want anything to do with.